Have you ever noticed how politicians do this with their hands? Trust me, now I've mentioned it, you're gonna see it everywhere. Turns out there's a reason for it, and that reason is mind control. Kinda. It's what body language experts call a precision grip. It's a body language tactic that's meant to imply to audiences that they're in control and that they're grasping something cognitively, that they're making a very complex and important point. And there's Trump's precision grip, famously like this. It's a modified precision grip. So next time you see a politician talking, watch what they do with their hands. Chances are it's all very intentional.
If you want your audience to pay attention when making an important point, this tip is for you. If you've ever watched politicians deliver their message, you'll likely see this gesture. The old thumb over the fist gesture, or as Julia Louis-Dreyfus calls it, the fist. Why do politicians do that? Vote for me. Too aggressive. Vote for me. Warm. That person has my best interests in mind. A couple caveats if you're going to use this gesture. One, it has to be organic. If it starts to feel too planned, it won't read. Two, use sparingly. If you do the gesture too frequently, it will lose potency. Three, use the gesture to underline a word or phrase. Make it the cherry on top, not the whole cake. Helpful? Not helpful? Let me know below.
Have to remind you, don't you ever let anybody take your power from you. You have the same power that you did before November 5th. And you have the same purpose that you did. And you have the same ability to engage and inspire. So don't ever let anybody or any circumstance take your power from you.
We will make mistakes. We won't be perfect. But when we make a mistake, we'll fix it very quickly. So for example, with USAID, one of the things we accidentally canceled very briefly was Ebola, Ebola prevention. I think we all want Ebola prevention. So we restored the Ebola prevention immediately, and there was no interruption.
78-year-old billionaire who has not stopped whining about his problems since he rode down his golden escalator 9 years ago. It has been a constant stream of gripes and grievances that's actually been getting worse now that he's afraid of losing to Kamala. There's the childish nicknames, the crazy conspiracy theories, this weird obsession with crowd sizes.
That was fun.
It just goes on and on and on.
It's early, and I think what President Trump, what makes him such an effective negotiator, I've seen this in private, is that he doesn't take anything off the table. When he walks into negotiation, he says, everything is on the table. And of course, that makes the heads explode in the American media because they say, why are you talking to Russia? Well, how are you going to end the war unless you're talking to Russia? You've got to talk to everybody involved in the fighting if you actually want to bring the conflict to a close. And I know the president does. But I'll tell you the goals that animate President Trump's policy. It's really simple. He wants the killing to stop. He wants to bring lasting peace to Europe. He doesn't just want to stop it now and have the war restart a month from now. He wants to bring lasting peace to Europe because the president believes this, and he's absolutely right. Peace is in the interest of Russia. It's in the interest of Ukraine. It's in the interest of Europe. But most importantly, peace is in the interest of the American people, and he's going to fight for it for the remainder of his administration. Wherever war breaks out, he's going to be the president of peace. Now, he, of course, is a very good negotiator, a very good businessman. He recognizes that a lot of these issues are tough. It's going to take a smart statesman to figure this stuff out, but we've got that in the White House, and I really believe that we're in the cusp of peace in Europe for the first time in 3 years because we have leadership from the Oval Office, and we haven't had
House
it.
Republicans, House Democrats, Senate Republicans, and Senate Democrats reached a bipartisan agreement to fund the government, keep it open, and meet the needs of the American people. We reached a bipartisan agreement to provide disaster assistance to everyday Americans whose lives have been upended and turned upside down as a result of hurricanes, tornadoes, wildfires, floods, and other types of extreme weather events. We reached a bipartisan agreement to meet the needs of the American people and provide assistance to farmers, families, children, seniors, veterans, men and women in uniform, and working class Americans. House Republicans have now unilaterally decided to break a bipartisan agreement that they made. House Republicans have been ordered to shut down the government and hurt everyday Americans all across this country. House Republicans will now own any harm that is visited upon the American people that results from a government shutdown or worse. An agreement is an agreement. It was bipartisan, and there was nothing.
We doubled the National Guard. We have 1,608 forces, but we have more important. It's this. We have the winds. We're getting confirmation from the coroner, so we always have to be careful on the death toll. We're going to see 50+ mile-an-hour gusts, subject to change. So executive orders on price gouging, recovery. We can then start the big contracts to remove the debris. Same time as I got to button up the canyons here. We're in the middle of winter. This is January. All those things have to happen concurrently. But here's the big thing: lives, traditions, places, torn apart, torn asunder. We're going to be back. We're going to do it efficiently and effectively. Don't turn your back. Don't walk away. We want to make sure that the associated costs with that are not disproportionate. The imperative: moving quickly, doing it in the spirit of collaboration and cooperation. We're talking to labor leaders. We're starting to organize how we can put together a collection of individuals who are seeking federal assistance for the